I never really understood the popularity of Monopoly because it's literally a game about money and life. Now, to win the game of Monopoly, you have to be the last man standing with the most amount of accumulated money. As a kid, I used to play Monopoly all the time with my mom, and she'd always beat me every single time. It was mad frustrating, I tell you. However, there was this one game where I had a running chance. Imagine this, across the board, I had built houses and hotels everywhere. We're talking about the blues, the dark blues, the yellow blues, the oranges, the browns, everything. I had the fucking Monopoly. All my mom had were the oranges and the damn railroads. And I tell you what, this right here was my fucking W. This was supposed to be my win. I had the Monopoly. Yet for some reason, as we kept playing the game, my mom kept landing on the chance and the community squares over and over and over again. While I, on the other hand, I kept landing on her fucking oranges, bro. And just like that, within a matter of minutes, I went bankrupt. I was fucking furious and I cried like a motherfucking bitch. And you know what my mom did? And you know what my mom did? And you know what my mom did? She laughed. She laughed at me. What a fucking savage. Now, unlike Monopoly, life is not a game. Whether we like it or not, our life will be filled with financial highs and lows. I mean, let's take COVID-19, for example. What an L. So as a 21-year-old who aspires to be more financially free, I can't help but ponder about my finances. Which then begs the question, how the fuck do I manage my money? Welcome back to our show, an intimate conversation surrounding personal growth and the experiences that shape us to the people we are today. I'm your host, Pradika, and this is the Pradikament. Today on the show, we have our guest, Curtis. What's up, my dude? How you been, bro?
Hello, sir. It's been good. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate you being here. It's a great fucking honor. And, you know, I would like to have this opportunity really just to get to know you and really just have a really intimate and honest conversation about you and also your company, Skyward Financial. So let me start off with this question right here. How would you describe yourself?
Starting off right with the big questions.
Yeah, how would you describe yourself to be?
I think I'm a person who values honesty, maybe to a fault. You know?
Okay.
Like I appreciate people who can tell me to my face, hey, you know, Curtis, you said something I didn't like.
Right.
Or Curtis, you said something I did like.
Yeah.
You know, I can appreciate honesty. It's almost the best quality I can see in a person. And then other than that, I don't know. I'm a person who I think I want to relax a bit more. Mm-hmm. And that's something I'm trying to do. But I think I work hard other than that. I'm in UBC,
okay, dope.
Studying psychology.
Oh, sweet. Right.
A minor in Spanish, just because.
Wow. Can you speak multiple languages?
Well, so, you know, on paper, yeah. You know, it's one thing to know it at a university level, and it's another thing to actually be in the thick of it.
Right.
Say, like, you know, if I was thrown in Costa Rica right now,
yeah,
I probably wouldn't get far.
Would you say you're a type of person that always liked to learn?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Recently, I've fallen in love with reading.
Okay.
And I'm not reading, you know, I'm not reading shitty airport books that you can find there. I'm reading like thick stuff, man. I'm
thick
reading
stuff, or chonky stuff.
Yeah, chonky books, you know, 300, 400 pages. It's but like the great minds, usually in psychology.
Okay.
Freud, Jung.
Yeah. Jung is really interesting.
Man, I could talk the entire time about Jung. There's so much good stuff out there. It's just you need to know where to look.
Okay, that's fair.
And so there's also a book I'd recommend to everybody, really.
Yeah,
maybe to you, maybe you'd want to read it. It's by a guy called Viktor Frankl.
Okay.
And it's called Man's Search for Meaning.
Oh.
It's he was a psychiatrist during Nazi Germany.
Okay.
And he was Jewish.
Oh, shit.
And so he got, he was taken to Auschwitz and survived in the concentration camp.
Yeah.
But his whole book, Man's Search for Meaning, is about how in the worst circumstance possible,
right?
Like when people are being
at their fucking lowest,
the lowest imaginable by human standards,
right?
How people, you know, some people gave up hope.
Yeah.
Some people just didn't get up out of bed. Some people just died in their sleep.
Understandable.
But there was some people
yep.
is the thing he tried to puzzle, is there's some people that got up every morning and had pride in how they dressed. Oh. They had pride in what they did. You know, they were ordered around by Nazi guards, but they did everything as if it mattered, as if their existence depended on it.
Wow.
Like they had meaning. They found meaning despite the horrible circumstance.
Right. And so they literally looked at like the bright side of life, and they just commanded what it was there, even though it was shitty, but they commanded what was there.
Yeah.
They made use of every opportunity possible.
And I think the biggest thing that I took away from it is like, man, life is tough sometimes.
It's fucking tough.
You know, some people have different standards of tough than others.
Absolutely, that's fair.
You know, maybe it's I can't, go out as much to eat as I'd want to, or something like that.
Yeah.
But some people literally can't afford to eat anything.
Right.
Some people literally can't get clean drinking water at all.
Right.
But it's all about looking beyond the circumstance and seeing what you can make out of it.
Right.
I know that sounds cliche, but I think there's real truth in that. Like every moment of struggle and strife is an opportunity for growth.
Right.
And I don't mean that in a cliche way. I really internalize that and try to.
I can see that. And I feel like just from what you said right there, it seems like you're a very empathetic person. I feel like you see things in multiple different perspectives. In fact, that, oftentimes a lot of people don't have that within themselves. And that's why they get into like, they're not doing so much in their life and stuff like that. And so here's a question for you. Having this empathetic kind of mindset, having this broad perspective, is that the reason why you want to start Skyward Financial in the sense? That because you want to help people and you want to and stuff like that. Is that the reason why? Or
yeah. So let me say for your viewers about what Skyward Financial is.
Please tell them about who you are, that company itself. Yeah.
Sure. About a year and a half ago, my partner Tara and I started Skyward Financial. So what we are is a financial literacy initiative.
Sure.
And we meet with people online, these online Zoom calls.
Yeah.
And we have basically three main presentations that we go over, talking about credit card usage and investing and insurance and saving. Just basically all the shit you think would be taught at school, but definitely isn't.
Why do you think it's that?
Huh?
Why do you think it's that?
I don't know, man. Because I grew up in Surrey, so I had BC high school education, which, well, here I am. But I think it's hard because the teachers I knew did not have their finances sorted out. Their money was not sorted out.
Fuck, are you serious?
So you cannot have, those people teaching you how to save and budget.
Exactly.
Because they had no clue what they were talking about. But I think that's the reason why. But anyway, Tara and I recognize that, man, people are in desperation to learn this stuff. Not because, people want to be millionaires,
right?
But people are doing the right things now. And this is a domain that they've never had the education for. They've never been led in the right path. If anything, larger banks and larger institutions have led them in the wrong way.
Right.
So that banks and institutions can benefit from that.
Oh.
You have to keep in mind, like, a bank isn't a charity. They're a company.
It's not. I mean, look at the 08 crisis.
Yeah.
Look at the 08 crisis. Crazy what they did to millions and millions of people. They just literally gave loans like there was no tomorrow and hoping that they'll pay them back. And the next thing you know,
they knew they were giving out bad deals. They were giving out bad bonds. And it's like, oh, we don't care. We're making money.
Oh, yeah. And so is this like... So then, is that the reason why, like, that spark of interest to help people out, like, around? But actually, here's a more better question. Why people our ages in particular? Why people our ages? Why do you want to help particularly people our ages?
Yeah. I think it's because with the amount of time you have to save.
Sure.
And so the main thing in investing is if you have time on your side,
sweet,
you're growing your money.
Sure.
If you do it in the right way.
Sure.
And because, like, say you're 21,
sure,
if you put $25 a week away today,
okay,
you have $1.2 million when you retire.
Oh shit! Really? No, you're lying.
Bro. No, man. I do the calculations all the time. If you're 18 to 21, you have anywhere between $1 to $2 million when you retire at 65.
Oh fuck!
And that's the reality. is like, I'm not asking you to put a bunch away. I'm not asking you to make millions of dollars now for tomorrow.
Right.
I'm asking you to do the bare minimum for yourself now. And people just need to hear that message because it's real. You could go to, there's a website called the RRSP calculator. Get Smarter About Money. Go in, type your information there, and see what $25 a week can do for you. A rate of return about 11.5 average.
Right.
And that's realistic, man. If you play your cards right, you can have a comfortable retirement. You can have a comfortable time now.
Right.
And you don't have to have this unnecessary stress, you know? Like, that's the message people need to hear. And that's really why we do what we do.
So, but here's the thing. Okay. So when I was a kid, okay, I'll tell you the story. When I was a kid, my mom introduced me to the idea of saving. Like you just said, the idea of saving. Okay. And when I was like in the freaking 5th grade, you know, I would get pocket money, $6 every single day for lunch. Okay.
Yeah.
And every single day for lunch, you know, I would save 4 out of the $6.
That's good. That's really good, man.
Really good. 4 out of the $6. Okay. But at the expense, okay, of literally eating ketchup sachets.
You're having a $2 lunch every day.
$2 lunch every single day. I didn't even like what I bought literally was like a hot dog. And then I literally just went to the fucking cafeteria. I got like these sachets. I just shoved them down my mouth.
Yeah.
And I did this for, I think, a whole year.
Right.
And the next you know it, the next year when I went to 6th grade, I got fucking sick. Because I didn't eat right for like all of lunch at all.
Yeah.
And so in my head, I feel like even though you do have like a $25 weekly thing saving, blah, 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 I feel like at the end of the day, sometimes we as individuals, we tend to oversave or we sometimes save too less. Yeah. And that's the kind of conundrum that I was at. And I really don't know what is the fine line because every financial situation is different. Some people need more money than others. Some people need to prioritize their funds elsewhere, right? So where is that fine line? How can we kind of determine what is that line for us? You say 25 a week, you can get 8 million retirement. Easy, right?
Yeah.
And I believe you 100%. But for like people who have a lot of obligations here and there, what is that line?
Yeah. So for people that are set up, and it's hard to say because we're university kids and nothing is ever set up for us. Life is always changing.
Man. Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. We'll talk about it later.
Sure.
But like Skyward Financial's demographic
Right.
is university kids.
That's wild.
This sounds like a terrible business model because university kids have no money, you know. But anyway, I digress. So if you're set up, you know, you have a family, maybe you're living on your own, but you have predictable income, predictable rent, that sort of thing.
Fair enough.
You could probably allocate about 50% of your income to your needs.
Okay.
Groceries, rent, utilities, that sort of thing.
Right.
30%, that'd be good for your wants.
Yep.
Going out to eat, going to a hockey game, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But if you could put 20% away,
Just
save that.
Yeah.
That's an unbelievable number to do. That's actually pretty high.
Right.
A lot of people actually, their savings are about 5 to 10, if that.
Right. And that's monthly, right?
Monthly.
Or bi-weekly? Because some
Sure.
people get paid.
Well, whatever it is,
Yeah.
whatever you get paid. Usually people get bi-weekly, so
Yeah.
you just got to budget that. But 20%, if you can save that, man, nothing's going to touch you. If you allocate it right, have some in the short term, have some for an emergency fund because life is always unpredictable.
Yeah.
Have some in the medium term. What do you want in, say, 5 to 6 years from now?
Yeah.
You want to have a bike? Sure. Buy the motorcycle. But then think about the long term too. 10 to 15 years, you probably want to own property. God help you if you want to own in Vancouver. But
fucking mad expensive, I'll tell you that.
Tara and I are actually looking at a place in Saskatchewan.
Okay.
Saskatchewan.
Okay.
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, actually.
That's butt fuck nowhere.
Sounds like it's a really good place.
Is it really? Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so for anybody in Saskatoon right now, don't listen to Pradika.
Yeah.
I love the place. Good place. Good people. But it's it's like, it's a city.
Okay.
It's a city in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
But it's a city.
Okay.
And we want to live on the outskirts of the city because they have a really good community vibe.
Okay.
You know everybody on a first name basis.
Yeah.
You see your neighbors.
Okay.
I feel like in a big city like Vancouver, you miss that. I don't know my neighbors. I've never.
Did you grow up knowing your neighbors? Like because you're talking about that community, kind of that small community. For me, I grew up in the city, so literally that's all I know. I don't know what it feels like to be in a very small gated community. But did you grow up in a small gated community, and that's why you want to go to buttfuck nowhere?
So I lived. Yeah, I grew up in Surrey, BC, which is probably like an hour drive away from here. Away from Vancouver. And I lived in a cul-de-sac. So basically like a small neighborhood where there's not a large street next to us or anything like that.
Yeah.
And one of the fondest childhood memories I have is I'm about 5 years old. We just moved into our new place.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'm out riding on my bike, and every single kid on the block is in this neighborhood riding on their bikes, playing around, playing hopscotch. And I actually met my best friend still today. His name's Cam.
Okay.
And we just met riding our bikes that day.
Oh, damn.
So we've been friends since before kindergarten. So
that's so cool.
15 years.
That's so cool. Yeah.
So yeah, I missed that. And I remember like playing street hockey out on the street.
Yeah.
And it's safe because there's not a lot of cars. If a car comes, you yell car, and then you move the stuff over.
Yeah.
So that stuff. Like I remember the good parts of my childhood, and I really want to replicate that because
I see.
Yeah, they were so formative for me.
Growing up, did your parents teach you about like how to be smart with your money?
No.
Not at all.
No. I mean, like my parents weren't bad with their money, but it's like there was some misconceptions around saving and investing that they didn't know, and that I had to sort of fix and teach for myself.
Oh, wow.
That's actually like why I got into finance was because when I turned 19,
right,
when you can open a credit card account and when you can start investing,
right,
I wanted to learn this stuff for myself.
Right.
So I immersed myself in everything I could, learn the truth about everything.
Yeah.
But then in that realization, because I wanted to do it for myself.
Right.
But in that realization that, man, I didn't know anything.
Right.
I only imagined how many other people don't know anything.
Yeah.
And it's sort of this idea of ignorance is bliss. But once you're not ignorant,
you can't go back.
No. Like, and Tara and I talked about this before we started Skyward, is like, Tara and I knew what to do. We knew how to plan things. We knew how to retire comfortably and that sort of thing. But
already? At what age, man? We're talking about what age we're talking about.
20, 21.
Jesus, I don't even know.
But it's not even about our income, right? It's about the mindset and our relationship with money.
Right.
But we thought to ourselves, like, what if we retire? What if we had the perfect life and we have the kids and we have the house, but the people we know and love around us, our friends, they didn't have a comfortable retirement.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it sucks, hey? Don't you think? Like, you going to a certain place and leaving your friends behind.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, the burden was on our shoulders to start Skyward. We had to do it out of obligation.
That's fair.
It's been fantastic.
It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
What has been the most challenging thing about Skyward, honestly, as a startup?
Yeah, I think. So like I said before, in 2019, I started learning about the stuff for me.
Sure.
And then I worked at a company for about like a couple months. Realized it wasn't that good. Wasn't that ethical.
Yeah.
And then Tara and I started Skyward. And I think the most difficult thing with this startup is we spent months planning the vision and how many posts we would have and what the website would look like and all this stuff. We busted our ass to make sure that opening day was like a flurry of people, booking appointments and meeting with us.
Right.
And it was so slow.
How slow are we talking about?
We had one meeting in the first 2 weeks of us opening.
Jesus. Did that hurt you like personally? Like, did that like reduce your confidence? Because that hurts. That hurts when no one like is showing up to something you really believe in.
Yeah, because Tara and I knew, like, we really knew that what we were doing is really good.
Right.
We're doing it for free.
Yes.
With like no strings attached. We're doing it for free. We're dedicating hours of our time to making sure that you, whether you want to work with us in the future or not, you're at a better place.
Right.
This was initially, and it still is, an entirely selfless thing we're doing.
Right.
But yeah, one meeting in 2 weeks. But eventually, we just kept going at it, kept doing what we're doing. And then now it's like, right now, Tara's back in Dubai, where she lives, other
damn.
than here.
Yeah.
Like we're just so busy.
Yeah.
We're so busy, and we're happy it's at a place where we're busy, but it took a while to get there.
And how long did it took, to be honest? When did you start Skyward, and then how many years has it been?
So we incorporated Skyward Financial LTD.
LTD.
Yeah, that's important. That's our legal name. We did that in March of 2021.
Shit. Okay. Just right after the pandemic.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like.
And I think that's the best time, don't you think? And I think that's why you're like, damn, it sucks, because like literally no one's got nothing to do.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, you have all this free time,
you have all
man.
this fucking free time.
And so when I hear the excuse, "Oh, I'm busy," really?
Are you really busy? Are you really busy? Yeah. No. Absolutely. Yeah, I had so many people come up to me and tell me like, I don't know what to do with my life, you know, during the pandemic, and I'm like, isn't it a great way for you to like literally reflect upon yourself and like consider, hey, I want certain goals in my life. I want to achieve certain things. How do I attain it? And that's only done if you just self-reflect and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Which is wild that people keep saying that. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It got me mad annoyed, bro. I was like, dude, there's a shit ton of things you got to do.
Well, okay, so Pradika, what do you want to do?
What do I want to do? Literally, I started this just like how you started Skyward Financial, like sort of after the pandemic. During the pandemic, I was in a place where I was kind of lost in the sense that I did school for sure, but I wasn't really happy with the things that I was doing. Like it felt so mundane in my opinion. I was just going to classes. You know, I'm in a business program, which is great, but it's not something that I'm super passionate about. And I know people will be saying, "But dude, you got into like the best fucking school in Vancouver." I'm like, well, yeah, but like I'm not really as passionate as other people would be. I'm more really into film and acting and stuff like that. And during the pandemic, you know, I didn't really have that opportunity to do those kind of things, which really sucked. And I remember, I don't know about you, but in high school for me, I was a busy motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
I think you're the type of dude that likes being on the fly.
Definitely.
You like being busy and having your day being as productive as possible. When I was in high school, I did like my last 2 years of high school, so senior year, I literally had multiple different productions that I was part of. And I was playing the leads for most of them. And I even did auditions outside of school, which I got leads for too as well.
Right.
So I was busy,
Right.
very busy. When I went to university, I didn't get that. I didn't get that exposure where I was like constantly on the move.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, you know, I just felt like pathetic because I saw all my other friends on Instagram. It doesn't help that you look through Instagram, you see what other people are doing, right? Yeah, and you're like, oh shit. And they were doing so many different things and so many different like great things. And I thought to myself, whoa, I used to be in a position where I was those people, that I was doing shit, and I was doing shit for myself, not for other people to show up, but for myself.
Yeah.
And then I realized, I remember I was watching some podcasts on YouTube, which was a really big thing.
Yeah. Right.
Super.
I remember when it exploded.
It exploded. You watch Flagrant?
Yep. Flagrant 2. Yep.
Flagrant 2. Fucking hilarious, dude. Andrew Schultz is one of my inspirations.
It's awesome.
My inspirations, right?
Yeah.
And literally, as I was watching him, I was like, yo, dude, I'm like, as someone who loves conversations, right? I love to get to know people. I thought to myself, wait a minute. If I love conversations, I love telling stories, and I love like introducing people to these new, different perspectives, right?
Yeah.
Why not just do this for a fucking living?
Right.
And I thought to myself, oh shit. So then I gave like literally a leap of faith, jumped into the fucking deep end, and I was like, I'm gonna do my podcast. And then I got views. And I got downloads and people liked it. And I was like, oh shit. And here we are today.
Yeah.
With season 2 of The Pradikament.
That's awesome.
And for you, is that the same thing with you as well with Skyward, where you're like, you were just like pent up, frustrated, and then you just had to like push out?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think similar to you, like when COVID hit. Okay, so in high school, I was a person that was busy. I was actually in theater and acting as well.
Oh, really? Damn, that's cool. That's dope.
I was actually in grade 12 of my year. I was at so I went to North Surrey Secondary. That was my school. And I was on the improv team as well.
Oh, shit. You do improv?
Yeah.
It's fucking hard, bro.
Oh, man.
It's so hard. You gotta think so on the fly.
Yeah, you could fail at any time.
At any time. Anytime.
But and I'm still on UBC improv.
Yeah.
So that's fun too.
Yeah.
But in grade 12, I was busy. It was great. I was actually valedictorian.
Wow, congrats. That's amazing.
So like it was a good year.
Yeah.
Things were going well.
Yeah.
Busy. But then COVID hit.
Yeah.
Everything stopped. And I'm like, okay, what do I do?
Yeah.
Well, I had some books, so maybe I could read those just to fill up the time. I really enjoyed them. And I kept reading more and I kept reading more. And I had this one day where I was reading a book and then I closed the book and I just sort of closed my eyes. And I sort of realized like maybe some of my busyness, maybe I wasn't living the life I could. You know, maybe I wasn't doing what I could.
Right.
Like maybe I was doing things, but maybe those things weren't specifically me.
Oh.
You know.
Okay.
So I had this realization of like, okay, who the hell am I?
Then you get
You know,
like
who
a
is
little
Curtis?
Yeah.
And that I think that's similar to you too. It's like there's the busyness, but busyness isn't you.
No.
You are something else.
Exactly.
And so in that sort of time of COVID and reflection, it's like, yeah, well, like money's an important thing, so let's learn about it. People are an important thing. I learned that deeply. That's like what motivates my love of psychology.
Okay.
And I like your question about empathy.
Yeah.
Because I really do care about listening and not only listening so I understand what information you're telling me.
Exactly.
But listening so I can feel what you're telling me.
Oh, that's really cool. So there's like a subconscious like thing, like subliminal thing that we're talking about aside from that.
Definitely, man.
And do you find that your experiences with theater really helps you as like a is the right word financial advisor moving forward or stuff like that?
Yeah.
And also your background in psychology, you know, being empathetic and stuff like that and being able to see different points of views. Because I'm sure you have clients who are just like, yo, man, I'm fucking lost. Or maybe they know what they're doing and then they're so stuck up on one certain thing and they just wouldn't change their mind or shift their perspective.
Yeah.
So then, like, tell me more about that.
Yeah, I like that. I think so I have my I'm gonna have my major in psychology.
Yeah.
Tara is actually double majoring in economics.
Double major
because you know why not? In economics and political science. So man, she's the brains, man. I'm just a pretty face.
You got a good face, man. You got a good smile, man. You got a good smile.
I try. I got to keep up with you, right?
Oh no, it's not. Okay. So shoot. So continue.
So, but I think my knack for psychology and my interest in that.
Yeah.
I've recognized that like being a financial advisor and a financial planner is not about telling you information, but it's about helping you emotionally with the tough times.
Okay.
Because like, let's say that we have a client, let's say 21, let's say somebody like you, and you want to own a house in the future.
Yeah.
That's a scary thing.
It is.
Because where are you going to live? Where are you going to lock yourself down for the rest of your life?
For that,
a mortgage, all these unknowns. The banks are going to screw me over. And your job as an advisor is to tell them the right information.
Right.
Which, you know, most advisors don't even do in the first place.
Do they not?
No. It's
what?
Like I said, the industry is based off greed and
is it commission based as well?
Most advisors.
Oh, Jesus.
Most advisors just want to lock you into something and then forget about it.
So if I go to Scotiabank and they're just giving me all this shit, pretty much it's all shit.
Well, I can't speak specifically about any bank, but I'm saying that most advisors are commission based and most advisors get paid as soon as you invest, and there's virtually no incentive to keep you happy.
Wow.
Because they get paid.
Wow. That's cutthroat. That's cutthroat.
Yeah, man. So no wonder people don't trust a financial advisor.
Yeah.
No wonder people don't even trust Tara or I because we have the label.
Right.
But we work our asses off to make sure that we are doing everything the right way possible.
Right.
And that we don't do it really for the money. We actually charge people the bare minimum legally that we're allowed to.
Right.
But yeah, we do it so that you get the most benefit.
Right.
But yeah, just to your point about that emotional side is like, it's not about just the information. It's about helping you feel okay with everything because life is scary.
It is. It's very scary. Yeah. And I feel like the what you call the ad that I did, because I did an ad with Curtis.
Yeah.
And it was whatever you're saying right now about like the idea of like we wanting to be there for you during a very troubling time. That ad that we did, I don't know if you put it out or not, but
We will be soon.
We will be soon, but that it really felt like the especially after there's talking, just the interaction, the little skits that we did, it did really feel like, oh yeah, we're really here for you.
Yeah.
And that was the premise of the ad itself, that we are there regardless.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. It's really endearing, man.
And I just want to say something like, so like we said, Skyward Financial, we give these education sessions about money. But then Tara and I are also licensed investment representatives, and I'm a licensed insurance agent.
Wow.
So we can actually help you with that stuff. Open up your accounts, manage your investments, give you, life insurance, travel insurance, pet insurance, whatever.
Right.
All that stuff. But the thing is, and the core of what we are is you'll never see me wear a suit and tie.
That's mad.
Like I wear this to meetings because I want to engender and create a feeling of comfort, a feeling of like a friend, basically.
Right.
And Tara and I think about this recently, is like we won't take on clients who we don't have a good relationship with.
Oh.
You can be a millionaire, but if we don't
like
you and see you as a friend, we can't. It doesn't work.
Right.
Because what we do is like the perfect relationship we have with our clients is let's talk about money for 15 minutes and let's talk about anything else for 45.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Because we want to grow with you. We want to sit down for coffee with you and not talk about money. We want to just get to know you.
Right.
And that's why it's so rewarding for me, is because we look past the money.
Right.
We actually get to the person.
Right.
And that's it's indescribable. Really.
And I think this is like your, in business term, your USP, your unique selling point, in the sense that like you do really care for your clients. And and do you find that the clients that you've had really do enjoy that kind of personalized advising that you give to them, or like conversation? How about that? We're not gonna call it advising. Yeah, do they really enjoy it?
Yeah, there's one example I want to give. So we have a really good client. She's fantastic. I love her. And she came to us last summer. Really lost, really not knowing what anything was. And usually we have our 3 education sessions. You can do one on one day and one on the other. But it's whenever you want to do it.
Yeah.
And she, so eager to get to meet us, booked all 3 of them back to back to back.
Wow, bless her soul.
Bless her soul. Bless her soul. I've never had that before.
Damn.
And so
that's wild.
I see that the day before it happens, and then I'm like, okay, I have a marathon ahead of me.
Yeah, a marathon. Yeah.
3 hours. And it was the best experience ever.
Really?
We it actually lasted for about 4 hours because we were talking about life for an hour.
Wow.
And she was telling me she works in pipeline construction, and she's been doing that forever. And she's doing all the right things, backbreaking work, really cares about her and her family. And she actually got emotional talking to me because she said, Curtis, I have investments at another institution, but I've never been treated like I mattered.
Fuck, that sucks.
Yeah, because she has the title of working in construction.
Sure.
And it's like, well, who are you to know what I'm going to teach you anyway? I'm just going to stick you in an investment and you're going to be happy.
Right.
But she was so desperate to have somebody talk to her as a real person. And she left us a review on our Better Business Bureau site. That she just poured her heart out in paragraphs and paragraphs, saying that she has so much coherence in life. She has so much meaning in her life now because she realizes that the future isn't so scary.
That's wonderful.
And it makes me
gives
emotional.
Me goosebumps literally just hearing you say that, because you're really touching someone else's life and someone's soul in the sense, right? And to really helping them. That's really admirable of you, man.
Yeah, thanks. And it's like, but it's it's overwhelming sometimes because you get stuff like that. But yeah, that's why we do it. Is for stuff like that.
Yeah, and it really does put into perspective how, like, I know money isn't everything, but money is everything, sadly. Do you know what I mean? Like, it does play a really big role in your life, whether you like it or not. And, being able to be financially free to do with your money is really important. And so I want to ask you a question. What is your relationship with money, and how do you view it? Is it something like a commodity that you really, really need it, or is it something else? What's your relationship with it?
Yeah, I think it's always secondary to me.
Secondary?
It's weird because I'm a financial advisor.
Yeah.
But it is secondary. Primarily, I value time spent with people I like.
Yeah. So you enjoy the experiences that money can give you.
Oh man, definitely. You'll never see me buy an expensive watch or something like that. You'll always see me buy an experience. So like a vacation or a trip to a concert.
Yeah.
This past weekend, I went to a BC Lions game. So that's American football.
Yeah.
And then also the Canadian soccer team. They
Right.
played against Curacao.
Right.
Those were free tickets.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it was
yeah.
great. But like, I love those things because those will like last a lifetime. A watch will break. A shirt will, get too small for me.
Exactly.
But an experience lasts.
Because you bulk up too much, right?
Yeah. Hitting the gym all the time. Oh, God.
No, but I agree with you. And I feel like maybe, because I lived in a household where money is important, but it is important. And even with like sort of my choices in terms of my career, it always was factored along the lines of like, go to business or go to something that is like fruitful for you in the future. And I understand where it's coming from because I come from Indonesia and it's a third world country. Life sucks.
Yeah.
Life sucks compared to, let's say, here in Canada and Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
And so I understand that kind of mindset. And my parents, to be honest, I was very blessed because I used to live in Singapore for like 14 years of my life.
Yeah.
And they did really well for themselves, right?
Right.
And so, and this like I guess this pushed for me to go to a certain like career is so that you have that comfortable life. But then, money can't really buy you happiness. You need to find that kind of middle ground, in terms of that.
Yeah. Well, for you being pushed in a business direction, what's your relationship with money? Because how at least I'm interacting with you right now,
Shoot.
I don't think it's your main concern.
It
might be up there, but
might be
it's not the thing.
For me, my relationship with money is, how about this? I'll tell you my relationship with my career. I would like to have a career that I'm able to bring every single person in my life who's collaborated with me, who's worked with me, who are friends, genuine friends. I want to bring them all up together, and climb up that financial hierarchy together. Because, like you said, it sucks if your friends are broke as shit, and then you're all the way in Saskatchewan chilling out with your homie. But you know what I mean? And that's kind of my relationship and with my career, and also kind of my relationship with my money as well. Because that's something that I want to do.
Yeah.
And think, but it sucks because like it's there's no easy way to get to where you at. You need to have like revenue streams, like different multiple revenue streams, and it's like I don't know, man. It's just to me, it's merely a pipe dream. I wish. What you call it. I will get there at some point. I know for sure.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's a scary endeavor because our parents did a great job. My parents were expats at some point.
Right.
And the way they handled their finances was great because they were able to send me to an international school, send me here even.
Right.
So it's like, here's a question right now: are we fucking doomed? Because if they can do so well, what about us? Well, do you think that we're doomed, like in our generation? Because I feel like for our generation, we keep spending shit like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
I spent some outrageous shit, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Like I once spent $100 in porn.
Wow.
Yeah, but and you know what?
Was it worth it?
Well, it was fucking worth it.
Okay, sure. There you go.
And I tell you what, I'm not proud of it. I remember it's like post not clarity. I was like, what the hell did I do this for? But I'm a dumbass when it comes to spending. I don't do it anymore.
Okay.
For the record, this is like 2 years ago. I don't do this shit anymore.
For the record.
There's something called free shit on Google.
You learned that.
I learned better. But I'm just saying, like, are we doomed? Are we doomed? Because we live in a culture where we keep fucking spending.
Yeah.
And we don't stop.
Yeah. So I watched a documentary a while back called what's it called? The Century of Self.
Okay.
And it was super interesting. So basically the cousin or the nephew of Sigmund Freud.
Okay.
He came to America and he basically worked his way into the corporate world, and then the corporations jumped on the most impressive ways to market.
Okay.
So let's say in the early 1900s,
Sure.
before World War II,
Yep.
everything was built on necessity.
Yep.
It's like you buy these shoes because they're going to last a long time.
Absolutely.
You buy this pencil because you'll never need another pencil. But in like the 50s or 60s, things changed to you want it because it expresses your individuality. You want this shirt because, this colored pattern is meant for you.
Wow.
Not about the quality, not about the durability, but because
Right.
it was meant for your identity.
Wow.
And so people, I think that's why we spend so much, is because people think their identity is dependent on the material objects
or the things that we buy that represents ourselves.
Sure. Yeah. Right. Like even these pair of shoes right here.
Yep.
You know, but right. There's some element of that. I see like skis in the background.
Skis at the back. Yeah.
Like these are things that represent your identity.
Okay.
Maybe the color pattern or whatever. Same for me. Like this blue shirt, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Color of Skyward Financial, like stuff like that. I like this watch. I feel like it was meant for me.
Yeah.
Quality, durability, I don't care about. So I think that's it. Like, I think it's a deeper problem than just money. I know things are expensive than they ever have been.
Yes.
I was looking at, so our rent actually for our place is $2,500 a month.
Whereabouts?
In Dunbar.
Oh, that's mad. That's mad.
2-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom. And it's small. It's really small, but $2,500.
That's mad.
Not including utilities, not including internet, not including food. Like it's a lot. So we do have some problems that have never been faced before.
Okay.
And we do have incomes at jobs that are lower, proportionately to what they were before.
Exactly.
You had more savings before. You had more disposable income before.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I don't think we're doomed. I think we have to be smart. And I don't think people have ever had to be as smart as today.
Really?
I don't think we're doomed. I think you just have to plan. I do think that, because I meet with a lot of clients that have no money saved up at the end of the month.
Yeah.
But it's not because that they're not making enough income. It's because they're not budgeting what they could.
Yeah.
And if they budget what they could, maybe they have $100 left over, or maybe $150 left over at the end of every month. And maybe based off that, you can do a lot of good things.
Right.
Like you can save for your kids' education.
Yes.
You can make a world of difference with the most minuscule things. Like we said, at the beginning, $25 a week is 1 point something.
Yeah.
And it's like people just need to hear that message that, like, yes, it's a scary time. Yes, there's things that have never happened before. A global pandemic hasn't happened in 100 years.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be okay.
We're gonna be okay. Just with that optimistic, positive mindset, and then you'll get through it. You get through it.
Yeah. And I was talking with Tara actually this morning.
Yeah.
She said to me, So I talked to you about this, but I umpire softball games.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to a tournament this weekend.
Okay.
Where there's the association does not have any money set aside for me and another umpire to stay at a hotel. So we're basically going to be homeless for the weekend. And so what we're going to do is we're going to sleep in the change room of the tournament.
It's like camping, bro. That's
like
fun.
camping,
Yeah,
right?
That's fun, yeah.
And I was talking with Tara about this, and she says, "Oh, that's terrible. No. And I said, No. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fine." And she said, "Curtis, I like your optimism."
But I fucking hate it as well.
Sure, maybe secretly. Yeah. But I think about this all the time. I don't think I'm naive. I don't think I put blind trust in people. I don't think I'm blindly optimistic. But I think I see the whole situation and I'm like, things are actually going to be okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people can see a whole situation and be like, wow, things are not going to be okay. But I usually take the opposite. I usually think things are going to work out.
I feel like, and this is, one of my few last remarks, I feel like, with that kind of mindset, you're kind of manifesting positive things to happen to you. If you always have a terrible mindset on things, right? What I believe in, I think maybe you do too, is that you attract negative things because your mindset is negative, right? But whereas, for example, if you look at the bright things in life, you have a very positive outlook, you will see the opportunities that are there in front of your eyes. Because when you're negative, you're closed-minded. You don't want to think about stuff. You want to be just to yourself and shit like that. So, and I feel like that's what you have, right? I assume it's like, regardless of how shitty the position is,
yeah,
you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be sleeping in a changing room. It'll be fucking fun.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun.
Exactly.
I think
it's gonna be an experience, right?
Yeah,
and to your point, you talked about when you started this podcast, and similarly to when we started Skyward Financial, there's this leap of faith.
Yeah.
There's this against the odds, against the probability that it's going to succeed, you're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that there's so much of that message that needs to be had in daily living.
Right.
Like, let's say you're at a point in life where you're really low.
Right.
You don't think anything of yourself. If anything, you've been given reason to think that the world is a bad place.
Exactly.
the only way you can break out of that is by a leap of faith, is by saying hi to somebody at a bus stop.
Yeah.
A little personal aside is like when I was 13 or 14, I was in a really low place in life, like super depressed. The only time I thought people were looking at me was to make fun of me. It was terrible.
Really? What? Why?
Just because, like, 13, 14, things are changing and you have no clue who you are.
Fair enough.
It just wasn't a good time. I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody, couldn't communicate with anybody.
Right.
But the moment that things changed was I was walking to school one day, dressed in all black and all gray, like just hood over my head.
Yeah.
And somebody was walking their dog the opposite direction. And I was walking, I'm just like, don't notice me. And she looks up to me and she says, I hope you have a great day.
Bless her soul.
And she keeps walking. And I thought to myself, like, wow, I was noticed. And I was noticed, and somebody who I have no other interaction with wants the best for me. And it was just, it was exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
And then I extended that same thing out to other people. Because you never know. You never know what the influence you might have is.
Yes, absolutely.
So say hi to that person. Reach out to the person that, maybe there's a person you haven't talked to in a while. And you've always been thinking about, I should reach out to him. I should reach out. Do it, because you don't know what effect that could have. It's really, like, people need nowadays, people require so little motivation. Like, people require so little encouragement.
Yeah.
That if you can be the source of that, you have no clue what you can change in their lives.
And I think you've changed a lot of people, and me, the clients you have, and it's blown away. I'm glad you're very fucking wise, man. You're very fucking wise. Well, I would love to have this conversation furthermore, but I think this is all we have.
Okay.
But thank you so much, Curtis, for being on the fucking Pradikament. Thank you so much. I want you to say to that camera right there, all the handles that they can find you with, every single thing, plug it in. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Go on.
Hello, everybody. I'm Curtis Holt Robinson with Skyward Financial, co-CEO. You can find us at skywardfinancial.org about what we do. You can book a session there. On Instagram is where we post all of our glorious pictures at skyward.financial. And our email, if you want to reach out to us and talk about whatever, is contact@skywardfinancial.org. So our website is the main place you can find us again, skywardfinancial.org. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you guys for listening so much. Check this motherfucker out. He's dope as shit. Thank you again for coming, brother. Come on, give me some love. Hey, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. Peace out, boys.